Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the live edition of Killing Time. I'm Ayaz Akhtar, and I think that's Rob over there. How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And look, we have a lower third just above us, below us, that is. And I've lost your video. That's good. Anyway, so today's episode is going to be revolving around the most important event that has happened in the past 6 months. Of course, I'm talking about Titanic II.
Epic movie. Epic.
We're going to show you a clip from Titanic II. I'm live producing this, so if this looks terrible, it's a free show. Just deal with it, right? All right, so here we go. We're going to hit play.
The Titanic II!
The video stuttering, not the actual
Standing
movie.
next to me here, I'd like to introduce you to the man at the helm of this vessel. Our ship's captain, Captain Will Howard.
Let's scrub around a little bit. I don't want to get sued. We're going to give you little parts of this movie all around the movie. Oh, look, they're at a party. Looks like a high school. That's neat. Look, there's a guy with an ill-fitting shirt. That's nice.
Kelly! Kelly!
Oh, no, Kelly! And water. So, okay. I think you've actually seen the entire movie.
Well, the important parts.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about Titanic II. It's a movie from the Asylum, and it's not a direct sequel. I think what do they call it? A faux sequel?
Yeah. It kind of pertains to 100th anniversary of the Titanic's first voyage. This guy decides to build another Titanic and do the same voyage.
Yeah, so that's always a good idea, because nothing ever happens bad when you basically are teasing fate. And when you're starring in a movie like this, you know something horrible is going to happen. So it's not a sequel. The boat's called Titanic II because they want to recreate the same voyage. So what do you think happens? I think nothing happens, right?
I'm going to go with it sinks.
Maybe. It might sink. And one of the weirder things is Bruce Davison is in it. Let's get a clip of Bruce Davison. Bruce Davison is Senator Kelly from the X-Men movies. Can we get a picture of Bruce Davison? Do you got that, producer? I'm the producer. I got it. I'm talking to myself. There he is!
There he is.
Look at him. He's being all like Bruce Davison-like. Watch him.
Captain Maine here.
He's Captain Maine in this character. I didn't even know his name in this movie.
What I found interesting in this movie was that the
On my way.
writer and director is also the main character.
Wait a second.
Shane Van Dyke.
Shane Van Dyke is
The blonde boy.
the
The
blonde.
blonde main character guy also wrote and directed this thing.
Let's get some B-roll of that guy. Oh, let's show you some of the amazing CG effects of the boat. No, that's not from a video game cutscene. That is from the Titanic II. Now, let's actually put aside a lot of this stuff. A lot of this stuff I want to put aside is, let's forget that the CG isn't very good. The special effects they're not great, okay? They're very much like a video game. Let's forget about all that. As a story, as a movie, what did you think of it?
I think the premise of how these big waves and icebergs start to come about is somewhat inane. But as far as any disaster movie goes, they're always inane. You know, any of them have a really stupid premise about how the disaster actually occurs.
Well, it's actually a lot.
So I could get past that.
It's actually a lot like Poseidon, not the Poseidon Adventure.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Poseidon Adventure, but if you've watched Poseidon and you want to watch this kind of disaster porn kind of thing, then you should watch Poseidon instead because it has much better effects. Now, what did you? Again, apart from the acting, so basically, if we just judge this as a script, what did you think of the script?
I think it has pretty large plot holes.
Plot holes. Wait.
One. No,
What do you mean? How are there
you don't
plot
agree?
holes? I don't know if I was paying
Well,
attention
just
enough.
little things like in an emergency, what's the first thing that shuts down?
I don't know.
Work with me here. Elevators. What do they use the entire time the ship is sinking?
Oh, the
Elevators.
elevators.
Okay, and what's the best part about a submarine is it's underwater and unaffected by the waves, but their lifeboats, which are submarines, all get taken out by the second wave.
But I thought
Sorry, spoiler. Oh my god, I'm sorry.
that's because the second wave has of ice in it, I thought. Right? That's supposed to take care of... Anyway, the submarine captain. I've got to find this clip right now because the submarine guy he's like the best part. Would you agree with me on that?
Yes.
All right. So why don't you entertain the masses while I go ahead and try to find this clip because this is ridiculous.
Entertaining the masses.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, like I said, we also in this movie have Brooke Burns.
Exactly.
She was the host of Dog Eat Dog. She was on Baywatch for a time. She pretty much looks good and not much else.
Well, she plays a doctor.
But she's, you know...
A scientist.
Scientist. Somewhat reminiscent of when Denise Richards played a physicist in a James Bond movie. It's a similar kind of poor casting choice. But
I don't know if it's a poor casting choice. I'm still trying to find this clip of this submarine guy. I should have really queued it up before.
But she does get to, you know, spend a lot of screen time with Bruce Davison.
Well, I argue that Bruce Davison and Brooke Burns did all their scenes in one day. Because most of their scenes are indoors. And, oh, you don't plan on seeing the movie, guys? I'm looking at the chat room right now. And they're saying they're not planning to see the movie. How could you not?
Why not? After this glowing review we're giving it?
And you're getting a great
a
profile shot of me right now. Where is the submarine scene? Do you have any idea?
I don't know. It's towards the last 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, so like I could not watch the entire movie at one sitting because I'd gotten sick of it.
No, I watched 3 sittings and there's some parts at the beginning I kind of just, you know, flip through quickly.
Okay, I suggest you read a book while watching this. I can't find the submarine thing. I'm not doing post. I'm sorry, folks. You're gonna just have to go find the movie yourself, or go get it. I'm gonna argue this. Regardless of the CG being not so good, regardless of the acting being a little iffy, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
No, that's true. It's not, because there was parts of it where I was actually somewhat entertained.
And like it's quite clear that the Asylum, they know that they're making a like they call it a mockbuster. They're aware that they're not making art. They're just making quick cash movies. They also made Transmorphers, which is one of the worst things I've seen actually. Transmorphers is a parody of GoBots, I think. But no,
no. It's
a parody of the Transformers, and the problem with it is like this. There's maybe about 8 minutes of Transformers in the actual movie. The rest of it's just people like hiding behind somewhere in a bunker. And this movie, you have a lot of those scenes. A lot of it is outdoors, and one of the cheats they use a lot of is that they don't like show portholes, so you never see outside. So when you're inside the grand ballroom of the Titanic II, you never see outside. So it looks. I swear to you, it looks like a high school gym. I got stuff falling all over the place. I'm a bloody mess today. MacGruber was the worst movie. Okay, hang on. I haven't seen MacGruber. Don't spoil that for me, Brian Monroe. We're talking to the chat room again. I don't know if we're going to be doing this live every week, but why not? You got a problem with this being live?
There was one good plot point of the movie. No one said they're going to watch it, so it doesn't really matter. The fact that when the guy dies from drowning and, he stays dead.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was actually. I mean,
that's
surprised.
Huge.
Now, yeah. So we have the scene where the boat's taking on water. There's a shock, and but here's the other thing. The girl says, "I can also help you. I have some gear. You can be warm too." Then the guy actually says something intelligent like, "No, it's just going to kill us both, you idiot." Yeah, he's right. There's no reason.
He makes a good point.
Yeah, so it's actual logic. At the end, it's actually pretty tight. And the guy does, he goes underwater and they try to resuscitate him. But he's underwater for about 5 minutes. Okay?
Yeah.
And we mean that, literally like 5 minutes in the movie. They're trying to pull him out and everything. And they try to resuscitate him to no avail. And it's very impressive that they actually let the pseudo lead. He's kind of a D-bag character, so him dying isn't such a big loss. But I was surprised by that. And I've also learned this with disaster movies. And I'm very happy to know this. As a father now, I am imbued with superpowers if my kid is in danger. So
apparently that is true.
Because Bruce Davison is the father of the leading lady, and he saves his daughter. And similar to The Day After Tomorrow, I can apparently walk from Philadelphia to New York in the blistering cold while all my other friends die because they're not related to anybody who's a hostage.
Within a day.
Oh yeah, exactly. So this is really good to know, unless I'm on Poseidon or like on a giant space rock, like Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
As long as the person who's in danger is nearby, I can probably save them. So that's kind of neat.
That's true.
It's good to know, I think. So if you're looking to survive forever, Rob, remember,
I should have a kid.
have a kid, because what they will do is when they are in trouble and they're in peril, and make sure you're the leading guy though. If you're like the chopper pilot guy, you are dead.
Toast.
Oh yeah. If you're not in the first couple of credits, I mean, forget it. You're done. So make sure you're starring your own show. I think that's going to wrap up the actual episode about Titanic 2. Should people watch this movie?
I think if it's on like TV on a Saturday afternoon, I could see watching parts of it and flipping between this and something else.
I think you could seriously watch this movie on double speed and get it done in 45 minutes, and it will definitely not be the worst thing you see. So I say watch it. If you can get it, and if it's on TV, go watch it. If you can get the DVD, like if it's on Netflix, it's worth like the 3 cents it'll cost you to get it. If anything, watch it with a group of friends. That's what it's worth. It's totally one of those movies where you will bag on it the whole time.
You can bag on it the whole time. Yeah.
So it really has high value as a bag on it movie. So it does suck as a film, but as a fun group activity, I think it's more fun than a deck of cards.
And you could easily make it a drinking game. Every time they have bad CG, you drink.
Well, yeah. So that does it for this episode, and we'll see you next week.